Absolutely. It's Talk Comics to Me time. We're in the Bone Zone. Bone Zone, Rome, zones. Five. We're five. Cinco.
Part five.
Cinco bones. I'm Champ Champenstein.
I'm Heather.
And we're here to talk about some like comic books and stuff. I don't really have anything this today. I'm not on any sort of roll. I've just been like studying so much. My brain is like,
I've been laying down all day, so I'm in the same way, but like not because I didn't do anything. I'm just tired.
that takes brain power too.
Yeah, I had to stare. Okay. I was watching Howl's Moving Castle earlier, and I was like, it's been years since I've seen that movie, so I was very excited.
Mhm.
Lying down on the couch watching it. 5 minutes of this fucking movie left. 5 minutes, and my internet goes out. And I have been trying all day to finish it, and it won't work.
Just read the Wikipedia article like we both did with Gone Girl.
True. You know what? I am going to do that. I've seen the
And
movie several times, but I'm going to read it anyway.
I think it's funny because I really felt like I had been punked by it when I read the ending of it because I was probably like 20 minutes from the end and I had to go to bed. I have a sleep schedule, people. I have to go to bed. Uh, and I was like, well, off to bed. Let me read the Wikipedia article. And I was like, no way, that's real.
I do that for movies that I'm enjoying and I'm in the middle of watching. I'll be like, you know what? I'm just going to see how this ends. I do that for almost every movie. Like while I'm in the middle of watching it, I'm like, well, I think I know how it ends, but I'm going to look it up anyway, even though I know in maybe 20, 30 minutes I'll get there so I can see it myself. I
Yeah.
love spoiling things for myself.
Yeah. I mean, I had known like the twist of Gone Girl,
hmm
not like the twist, like the ending with Neil Patrick Harris getting his like throat slit, not that ending or that twist, but the twist where
Spoilers.
oh yeah, sorry, spoilers for Gone Girl. Uh, but the spoil like the fact that she like is the one who's been doing all of this stuff because like
hmm
one of our friends like posts about it on the internet sometimes, and so now
It's just
now
a
I
consistent thing in their life. Like Gone Girl, February 2nd.
there's just like stuff about how like being them or being the Gone Girl lady. I don't know, just like jokes about like how she is, and it's like you kind of reference the material so often. You're like, okay, I get what the joke is and like what's happening.
Right.
And then when I was watching it, I was like, I even now understand even more. Like I got it, but now I get it even more. Anyway, that's the Gone Girl rant before we talk about comic books. I don't know how we got here.
I never do. Okay. I'll talk about my comics, okay?
Okay, go
Um,
ahead.
so I'll go first. This is Joker, the boy who stopped laughing. It's what I'm always going to call it now. This is issue number 5. This just continues Joker and his quest to find the impersonating Joker. They run into each other in this and they keep trying to trick each other, and it's really dumb and
That's
really
good.
funny. And meanwhile, Red Hood is trying to find Joker as well to kill him. And Batman puts out a hit on him, essentially, because he wants him to just stop. He's like, you got to stop. You shot a bunch of cops in a hospital. You have to stop. Um, so yeah, there's like a cute little twist, I guess. I don't know. I This book is a lot of fun. I really do enjoy it. And then the story in the back, the
The woke
Francesco
business.
Francavilla one, where he's always falling in love with someone and trying to get them to love him. This one is Giganta.
Yeah.
So this whole time he's trying to figure out how to make himself a better person, or at least appear to be a better person, so that Giganta will fall in love with him.
Good.
Uh, he ends up he does a lot of things. Like at one point he's washing windows on a building. Another he's fixing power lines, and then he's selling hot dogs. Like he's just doing the most ridiculous things. But then he ends up casting a spell on himself and he makes himself giganticize,
Okay.
which is very funny. And then he did the spell wrong, and so out of his face comes a bunch of little Joker.
It's
There you go.
good. They're all naked.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's ridiculous. I love this story. I think I can't decide which one I like more, like the actual story or the Joker anthology love series.
Yeah.
They're just really good.
I say it seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah. The art makes it like a lot of fun too.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, that's Joker.
Okay, I guess it's my turn.
Hmm.
I have issue number 1 of Black Tape. This is a book by Dan Penosin. And then Dalibor, oh gosh, I can't say this last name. Talajic. Talajic. Talajic.
Talajik, yeah.
Uh and this is a book about a woman whose husband has passed away. He was a rock god, I guess you could say. Not like a literal god. Maybe, I have no idea.
It's the first issue. You don't know.
Yeah, I really don't know. But anyway, super popular rock man. He has died. This is at like his funeral. I honestly, I have to go back and read what the solicit is because I don't remember like what is supposed to be happening in this book. And this first issue did not really tell me.
Okay.
It just, it's really hard to explain. It just didn't feel like I don't feel like I have any clue as to like what the fuck this book is about or like what's going on. Like short of like wife is dealing with grief. There's like some sort of satanic level going on, like shady, like sort of friends. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I read it at the shop, so a part of me is like maybe I just didn't like take it in as fully as I could have if I had like read it at home, but like there was nothing going on. So I was literally like I didn't have any interruptions. I was just standing there reading a book.
Right. I don't know. Sometimes if you're not like in that mood or mindset for it, and location is a big deal, because I've read several books at the shop where I'm just like, I don't know what happens in this book. And I don't know if it's just because of where I'm at and I'm not actually like into the book.
I say not fully immersed. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the art like a lot. I thought that looked really good. Page where she's crying here, but
Oh yeah. I like
I
the dog.
yeah, it looked great.
Hmm.
Um, just wasn't super into the story, and I only special ordered that first one, so I don't know if I will like pick up the second one.
That's fair.
Yeah. And then next I have Gotham City Year One. This is issue number 5. There is one more issue of this, if I am remembering correctly. Yes. And in this issue, you are basically everything is unraveled. You figure out what has been happening. Uh, I really liked this issue because of the art, but they did this like flashback with the like black and like gray and blue hues, which I was super in love with. And at one point, they interspersed it with like the story being like the past being told and her telling the story in the foreground.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, that's
and,
cool.
yeah, and I love that. Yeah, book looks good as fuck. I am good. Like this book looks so fucking good. It's insane. Um, story's like all right. It's just like it's like I've said before. It's just a detective noir story. Like it's
Nor.
noir. It's pretty normal. Uh, I I just think it looks really good. The storytelling is like fairly well done. Um, these like
Oh yeah.
purples and blues. It just, yeah. I do think it's worth checking out, especially if you do like those types of story. It's like very pulpy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I obviously have enjoyed it enough to like keep on it. And I don't feel like the race aspect is a pretty big part of the book itself, but not super indulgent within it as well, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
You got one
Onward.
issue left.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, you talk about this one.
Okay. This is Monarch. This is issue number 1. This is a Rodney Barnes story, who did Philadelphia.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I'll talk about this one. I forgot what I was doing. This is an alien story, pretty much. It's just from the perspective of, I guess, a couple characters, but the main one is Trayvon,
Yeah,
I believe. He is living in a foster home with his foster sibling, just the one, right?
yeah, I think so. I couldn't really tell.
And then there was a former one who is his
Yeah,
children. Okay,
yeah,
that's what it is. But yeah, so basically he's growing up in a foster home and he gets to school and some aliens start trying to take over the world. So they're stuck in the school for a little bit, and after a few days, he's like, "Oh, we're out of food. We need water, all that kind of stuff." So he decides to leave, and the story begins.
yeah. That's really how it goes. I really like the art in this story a lot.
Yeah, it's
Um,
really, really good.
like I like the story itself, but it did feel like it was like kind of like missing something.
It was confusing for me a little bit because while the narration, like the bubbles, they are color coded for each character, when it didn't blend as seamlessly as I was hoping it would. So it was kind of like jarring
Hmm.
the way it went back and forth between each person. And I was trying to remember, like, well, what color is this character? What color is that
Yeah,
character? And I know there's 3 technically, and we know 2 of them, and then there's the red, which is just like an overall, is what it seems like.
yeah.
It was just a little confusing for me.
I'm sure like more will be unraveled as the book goes on. I think you did you just special order this one?
I don't remember. I'll have to look into it, because I did like it enough that I do want to continue reading it if I did
Okay.
only special order it.
Okay. Yeah, because this is one I'm just like I'm not sure. It's like I like it, but I don't know in the scheme of like all of the books I have if I like it enough to like keep reading it or like keep buying
Yeah.
it, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. I do for sure. I know I want to read the second one just to see, like, I want a little more to the
Hmm.
story. Like, I did think that it was a good first issue, but again, it was a little confusing and I
Yeah.
did just want a little bit more.
Yeah. I also feel like I kind of want to read the second issue,
Hmm.
if nothing else. Like just to check it out.
We'll get the second issue then.
Okay. So the next we have Harrower. This is another number one. This is a story about a town that has a little urban legend tied to it about this character named the Harrower. We don't really, I feel like, learn a lot about how it works, except for he shows up on this one certain day, and we are introduced to our cast of characters on that day. And I really, really liked this a lot. I love the art. I love the tone and the story. It just felt like I don't know, it just felt like a good slasher.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the art and like the colors for it. I think the colors especially.
Yeah, like the pinks and like oranges
Hmm.
and
It was just
purples.
done very,
Yeah.
very well. This is an exciting book. I don't know what's wrong with my issue. It looks like I had wet hands. I didn't though. Okay.
Maybe maybe we missed it when we were
No, I
catching
don't remember
books.
it being like this when I first picked it up.
Mm.
which
But
is
yeah,
what's weird.
I think if you like slashers, this would be definitely one to check out.
Mm-hmm.
Just based on this first issue, it just seems like it's going to be like a real good, solid
Like a
slasher tale.
culty slasher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Next we have Tales from Nottingham. This is number one. This is literally what it sounds like. It's just stories from the universe of Nottingham, which is the series that I'm reading about Robin Hood and the Merry Men. I
Mhm.
took some notes here, so let me pull them up so I can tell you about this. This issue is about Conrad of Montferrat. I don't know how to pronounce that. The king of Jerusalem, and he was killed by two assassins. The story is about the assassins, pretty
Mhm.
much. Um, there was something else that I wrote here. Blah, 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 blah.
And the oh, go ahead.
The the attempt, the assassination was supposed to sow discord amongst the crusading nations by blaming the killing on Richard the Lionheart.
Yeah.
So it does weave into the story that's happening within the Nottingham universe. And chronologically, this does take place in April of 1192. I took notes, I told you.
Yeah. No, you did great. I just remember, yeah, that I remembered the Lionheart aspect of it and the fact that
Mm-hmm.
it was supposed to be like a whole ordeal. And you may be asking me why I have this when I'm not reading Nottingham, not Heather, but you out there, listeners, fans.
In
Uh,
general.
yeah, in general. And it's because I really did want to go back and like read the Nottingham series. Like after I didn't pick it up, I was like, damn, like listening to you talk about it, I kind of wanted to check it out. And it just seemed like an easy way to just like read it anyway, since it's like stuff where I don't have to really know. And
Right.
like it's an anthology, different writers, different like creative teams and stuff. So
Yeah. I'll bring the series for you because I had read that these stories, however many issues there's going to be, it takes place like between the second story arc of Nottingham, which just finished, and then the third and final, which is going to be starting soon. Which
mhm.
I didn't know they were doing a third. That's cool. I just didn't know they were doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll bring them for you so you can read them.
Yeah. I think I have like maybe the first couple issues of yours.
Yeah, I do. I think I recall. All right.
Unless I got them back to you, but I don't know.
I have Two Graves. This is issue number 4. This is still just following the girl whose name I can never can remember. Um, and Death. They're on a little road trip while she kind of is trying to figure out what is happening to her, what is happening to Death, and she's trying to find a place to discard her mother's ashes, all while staying one step ahead of the group of other Death henchmen that are trying to kill Death for what he did to her, which is fall in love.
Okay. Fair.
um, this issue was I did like this one a lot because it you kind of learn more about like what she is able to do like since all of this happened. Like he can see when someone is supposed to die exactly, and she kind of tells that they just are supposed to die. So
Yeah.
it's like a weird thing where they like work together, but she also discovers this power that she has over him where she can like touch him and just knock him out.
Okay.
Because if like it explains like there's a mark on his neck where if she touches that he's just gone, he's dead. So she literally has control of his life essentially. But you know, if she touches him anywhere else it's like close enough and it just is like, all right, later, gonna go to sleep. So she does that so that she can try to defeat the 3 death henchmen by herself, which doesn't really work. You know,
Okay.
she doesn't know what she's doing. But anyway, there's a little story in the back, like there is in every single issue, and this one is by N.K. Jemisin. And I think if you're a fan of N.K. Jemisin, you should probably read it because it's actually really good, and it's only 3.5 pages long.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad at all. It was a very,
It's
very
short.
quick read.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I
Well,
got.
okay. I have Daredevil. This is issue number 8. This is the fight between the fist and the hand, and for some reason there's a fucking dragon there.
Love
Frank,
that.
Frank Castle's just riding a dragon. Uh, yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about this book.
There's a dragon.
There's a dragon. It looks really good. The art's just fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Um, you know, Frank is just like mad because Matt's let all of these killers out of jail, and Matt's mad at Frank for, teaming up with the hand and
Whoops.
doing Frank Castle shit as normal. And then on the last page, it's Iron Man, Captain America, and Spider-Man,
Spider-Man's.
Spider-Man. And they're like, we gotta take Daredevil down. He broke out of prison.
We got to send him right back to serve out the rest of his sentence.
Well, and
Sounds
it's
like
just
something they'd say.
and it's just weird because it's also like I don't know. I think the bigger problem here is Frank Castle probably being like imbued with the power of the hand god.
Hmm.
Like that seemed like a much bigger priority than Daredevil breaking out. I mean, to be fair, they are like super villains. So it's like I get it, but also like I don't know, priorities. And really, if you come at him swinging, like just at least come in and be like, "Why?" And then he can be like, "Hey, listen, I they're my army. They're my army now.
They're
they're
mine.
they're God's army, which is much better than what you guys were doing." Anyway, that's Daredevil issue number 8. There's a dragon.
Okay. The dragon.
A dragon and Daredevil frees it and it flies away.
Love that. Okay. I like that I have, like, you can tell me everything that happens in that book, and it still is so confusing to me because I've never read it myself. So when you say some of the stuff, like even in Punisher, that happens, like Punisher killed Ares. How?
Yeah, no, dude. That's what I'm saying. This last like Punisher and Daredevil as of like the last several issues have just been like bonkers. Like I don't even when I'm reading it, it's just like I said, I opened this up and got like I think it's the second page, maybe the first page of the dragon. No, it's the second page.
And where did the
Of the
dragon come from? What is the
I
dragon? What?
it's
What?
just a dragon that the hand has on
Retainer.
tap. Yeah,
It's
just like
God.
we caught this dragon, and you know what would look sick as hell if we had Frank Castle right on top of it. Like,
Look,
that
we
would
have
be
this dragon. We're gonna spawn it in the middle of Gordon Ramsay's hell kitchen. So just make it happen.
yeah, no, I really like, you know, it's hard to tell with Daredevil issues, but like pre Devil's Reign and when he was just like in prison doing stuff that I never saw the storyline going like this ham.
It's bananas. Speaking of bananas, Megatron kind of looks like a banana.
He's my little potato guy.
Okay. Are you ready for next?
I'm ready for next.
Okay. This is Little Monsters. This is issue number 10. 10, yes. And this issue explains my dilemma that I was speaking of the previous issue when we talked about this, which is the human blood versus animal blood controversy.
Yeah.
I was so excited to get into
Yeah.
that, to like read about it. I really, really like this issue. Um,
Yeah, I
but
also really like this issue because it felt like so much finally like came together that I had been waiting to like come together. So
yeah, you get like what happened to the adults, like the grown vampire's father. You got the origin, I guess, or the background of like how these kids ended up where they were and without adult supervision, and
Mm-hmm.
why Romy is the only one who really knows like what's going on. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I just love Romy so much. I feel so bad for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. And you also like learn why they like lost their voice, like why they can't talk. And
Mm-hmm.
I like that a bunch. Yeah, no, this issue was really, really good. I mean, I've always loved the art in this book. Um, I do, I will still stand by. I feel like there's been just like too much like filler stuff in
Yeah.
the issue. Like I wish it was like I know the story, like I can feel the story is wrapping up, but I wish it had like maybe done that a little bit sooner.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I think for 10 issues for this to finally be like explained and for the story to kind of like develop the way that it is a lot, especially again since the series isn't that long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems a lot.
I mean, and there could be way more to it as well. It just feels like it's like at that like closing point.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's winding down. You're getting to like the big climax.
Hmm. Okay. You ready for next?
Are you ready for next?
Yeah. Got some bloodstained teeth. This is issue number 9. The next issue is the last issue.
Oh, damn, really? Oh,
Yeah, it
to be
says
concluded. It says to be concluded. I thought it said to be continued earlier when I read it.
yeah.
I was like, no way. There's no way that's the last one.
Yeah. So this feel like there's a lot of like just Atticus going after all of his like sips and then basically trying to fight the people who are trying to kill him, sad about missing his best friend. Um
Oh, yeah. Dealing with a chronic cough from the fire.
yeah. Uh I like this book a lot. I am glad that it is like gonna be wrapping up too, just because it does feel like fairly repetitive at this point where I'm just like, okay, I get it. I get
I
what's
like that
happening
you get
here.
the his backstory, I
Hmm.
guess.
Yeah.
His medieval backstory. I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, and then you get a little bit more insight into the assassin, I guess, for lack of a better term. I don't know what else to call her.
Yeah.
It's been just like following him this whole time, being a fucking creepy stalker.
Yeah, just good vampire stuff.
Yeah, very solid. The art is fantastic.
Art is the best part.
It is a unique vampire story, and it doesn't
Hmm.
feel like one that I've heard before. So
I'd agree
it's
with
cool.
that for sure. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to talk about my last book.
Okay.
That is, yes, my last one. This is a bad idea book. This is called The Finder. I haven't had a chance to read this yet. It smells really bad, so it's hard to like be too close to it. I know that's such a dumb reason for like not reading a book, but every time I open it, I'm like, oh my god, it smells really bad. I can't remember exactly what this one was about either, but I know that the reason I got it is because the artist is the artist who did Odin's Eye.
Okay.
And so I was very into that. And I feel like Christos Gage might have written that story. I can't remember because I know the new release of Bad Idea books, there was one that they both worked on together, and then
Hmm.
another that just the artist worked on.
Yeah.
I think it was just this one that the artist worked on. Either way, I was very excited about that because his art is just absolutely incredible. And then the other story is called Burger Time. And maybe one day I'll read it. It does look like a lot of fun though.
Mm.
Like the art just,
Oh yeah, that looks like really weird.
yeah. So I will read this eventually. Once it doesn't smell so much. Okay.
I have All Against All. This is issue number 3. This is just a sci-fi story about these aliens that came from the sea, uh, were little mech suits, took over the Earth, made a human, and now that human's out to get them. There's little ween in this issue, little ween, little ween action. My
Louis?
Yeah, my favorite part was like when one of the creatures is explaining like how they took over the world, and he's like taking over the brain of this like wolf. In my opinion, it is top-notch cool shit. I'm gonna show it to you. So yeah, that, and then you
That
turn the
art is
page.
so good.
Yeah, and turn the page, and it's like,
Yep. Damn, that's so good.
yeah. So it just, I was really into that aspect of it being able to kind of just like take over the bodies of like creatures.
Hmm.
Though it seems like it's probably like a thing that's can only be like happen for a limited amount of time. But yeah, we'll see. Like the human helpless has like gotten into, like, they basically sedated him and took him into this like habitat they have, and the gravity is way less in the habitat than it is, or like inside the, not the habitat, like I guess their quarters, than it is like out in the world that they've
Hmm.
made, that they're in. And so like he's like obviously like incredibly strong, and he does like, the main general doesn't realize it until it's really like too late, when he's like talking about, he's like, yeah, just being out there, it's just like, I'm really, it feels really heavy, like I feel so heavy, like still dealing with that. And then he's like, oh no, I've made a grave mistake. Anyway, I really personally enjoy it. I do feel like it is something that it's only 5 issues. It'd almost be worth like trade waiting on it though.
Hmm. It
Just get
looks
a,
really good.
yeah, it looks great. Okay, that's all.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Now we have
Got some,
Batman.
got some.
This is issue number 132. This just follows Batman in a different dimension trying to find his way back home while running into weird mirror version people of everyone that he knows in Gotham.
Yeah, I loved his little mustache.
Yeah, it was really funny. There was one face that he makes when Selena
There's,
gets the whip around him. Where is it? Oh yeah, this one. I don't know why that face killed me.
yeah, it's just so, just so silly. It's so good. I really like this issue just because I like the colors a lot in
Hmm.
this issue in particular. But there was something that was like just a lot of fun. And then when him and Alfred like make eye contact, it just feels like that scene in Always Sunny where Charlie and Mac are like staring at each other from across
Yeah,
the
especially because it looks
restaurant.
like Batman's wearing makeup here.
Just uh
Yeah, it's really good. And then the art in this is it's very good. Like the facial expressions are have been they were cracking me up the entire time I was reading it, but in a good way, in a good
yeah.
way. And then the second story, the one in the back, is still them trying to figure out how the fail-safe gun sent Batman away while not doing that to other people. And there's also more, but they're still trying to get back to Batman. It's the toy box.
Like it's an interesting little part of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like how the backups are like really wrapping into the front half of the stories.
I do too, because I mean, with Batman in this other dimension, you don't know what's going on in like his current Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I do like these a lot because you get to see like what everyone else is doing with him being gone.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
All right, we got
Poison Ivy.
This is issue number 9. This actually just got picked up to be an ongoing now for real. So it was supposed to be 6, then it was supposed to be 12.
Oh, okay.
Then now it is ongoing. Ongoing. I think we both thought it was ongoing, but it was only 12.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good for them.
Uh
I mean that with no sarcasm whatsoever. I mean, like, truly, good for them. Like, to take a character like Poison Ivy and have an ongoing story, like, that's awesome.
yeah, it's not something that happens very often.
Yeah.
Anyway, in this story, it's just Harley coming to see Ivy and tripping balls.
Yeah, they do some cute little drugs together, have a walk down what's their version of Vegas, the strip, I guess.
This the
What
strip
it reminded
in
me of,
Portland.
yeah, just taking drugs and like walking down the street. But yeah, that's the I love the art in this one.
Yeah.
It looks
I
really
really like this issue a lot because this I think was one of the first times that I've read Harley and haven't like just like hated her. I
fair.
don't I don't like Harley Quinn. I don't think I ever have. I feel like it's really hard for me to like enjoy that character. I feel like one of the few times I enjoyed Harley Quinn was in like the White Knight series.
Okay.
And probably the reason I don't like the White Knight series is because they really like tie her to Batman and like tie her to like relationships and shit. So it's like they really take away like something about the way they made that character enjoyable. Otherwise, like there's something about her character that just rubs me the wrong way.
It might be. I don't, because for me, it is when people see a character like her and then try to write her and they make her childish
Yeah,
while still being sexual. That's weird to me.
I suppose it's like also the way like people make her talk. Like I really
See,
like
yeah.
I feel like here she just like see I I seemed normal isn't the best way to put it, but wasn't like so over the top.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like
I get that.
she's talking to Poison Ivy. The conversations are like how you would assume they would talk to each other without like Harley being like just shoved into your face.
It felt like a legitimate relationship.
Yeah.
Like it just their her character was just written in a very real way, and I think that was why it didn't, for me anyway, it didn't seem like obnoxious to read, is because I don't know, it felt like a real character.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, this the series has been really good as a whole
Mm-hmm.
in my personal opinion, and I'm really excited to see like what happens from here and like where it goes.
It's gonna be good. I hope she makes her way back to Gotham.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I'm really interested to see like what would happen once she gets back.
Hey, don't do that, please. Thank you. Lizzie was
Okay.
chewing on her paw. Do you see her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So last we have Gospel. This is issue number 4. This is just a story about Matilda and Pitt on a journey of, I guess, a quest.
Yeah, a little
A
quest
quest.
of religious proportions.
Yeah. Uh, Pitt is like kind of in a reform. He's in his reformist era,
You're right.
and Matilda finds out in this like issue, and she is not pleased.
No, she's an extremist
She
with
is
really weird views.
she is like a religious extremist. Bart in this book is fucking incredible. It is
It's so
so
good.
good.
And I
Uh,
really, really liked this particular issue because you got to
mhm.
see like the dynamic between the two of them. I liked the art during the like flashback where you see Pitt when he's like younger. Um, and then the integration of the story of the giant into
Yeah.
like their actual journey and stuff. I thought that was like really, really cool. This book
Uh,
is so good, and I can't believe there's only one issue left.
Yeah. I really like their friendship, like especially this issue. Like, they're talking about like they have very opposing views about what's going on. Um, to the point of, Pitt being afraid to tell his truth because he doesn't want to lose that friendship. And I don't know, there's something just like really honest and like interesting about the conversation they had with one another. I also love this story, but I will be very frank. I think you have to be a very certain type of person to enjoy this book.
Oh, for
Like,
sure. Yeah.
otherwise, you're gonna pick it up and be like, "This is dry as fuck. I don't understand what's happening. Why do you two like this?" Like,
I think what got me is how it was like they compared it to a Miyazaki story.
mhm.
In the first issue, I definitely get that. Like the first issue, it makes sense, like the storytelling and stuff. Like I get that. But as it goes more along, I'm like, I mean, yes and no.
Yeah, I
It,
think it's a mixture of the storytelling and the art because I can feel it like I feel like in this issue too, and the way like the story is weaved into the story itself,
Mhm.
like the very meta-ness of it, uh the weirdness of it. I feel like the character like Mathilde is just like very much that way too. She feels like a Miyazaki character. But no,
Mhm.
I get what you're saying. Yes, and
Yeah. It's just, I love it. I personally love this story. I'm very happy that I decided to pick it up and that it's I did just wish it was longer. I wish it was
yeah.
more.
Well, and I'm interested. Like, it feels weird that they're gonna end it within the next issue, and also like I I want to know how it ties to the outside world.
Hmm.
So there's
Yeah,
the
I
whole
would.
outside world conversation that's happening too.
There's a lot that still needs to happen. Maybe there is
Hmm.
6 issues, but I swear when I was doing the count for him yesterday, it said
I feel
5.
I feel like there's only five too.
Hmm. Hate it. I want more.
Uh, so yeah, that's it. That's all we got now.
Hmm.
And so go buy some comic books and support your local comic book shops and be good to one another and love one another and just if you have a library somewhere, go rent some books.
Yeah.
You go check out
Check
some
out some
books.
books.
Uh Heather, what do you got?
If you haven't been paying attention to the news or anything that's happening in Ohio and East Palestine with the train crashing and all of the environmental issues that are happening there, pay attention because the government is lying to them and to us about everything that's happening. Animals are dying, people are in trouble. So just pay attention, don't trust the government, basically.
That's fair. 100% fair.
I
Uh
fell down another rabbit hole last night. Not conspiracy theories necessarily, but close. And I hate the
yes.
government.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna get into conspiracy theories, at least vet your sources a little bit on that one. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. We love you. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the flippity flip.